Well, we know not everyone can keep up with all the news from the week. That's why CBS News Colorado has gathered stories that topped our website from the last 5 days. Here's a look at some of the stories that garnered the most interest on CBSColorado.com. Governor Polis signed a nearly $41 billion budget for the state into law on Monday. The measure includes $2 billion more in spending. Now, among the priorities, affordable housing, health care, and public safety. And the state was also able to fully fund education for the first time in a decade. But as the governor signed the bill into law, the Joint Budget Committee learned it is about $67 million short. Your political reporter Sean Boyd looked into this $1 million mistake.
The health insurance affordability enterprise is to blame for the mistake. An audit revealed it's been treating money it receives as exempt from Tabor revenue limits when it's not. That means the state will now owe taxpayers $67 million more in refunds. Senator Barb Kirkmeyer, who sits on the Joint Budget Committee, is introducing a bill that would use money the enterprise would have received this year and next year to cover about $33 million of the refund. The legislature will likely cover the other $34 million with money from the state reserve or from an increased tax on insurance premiums. The enterprise is funded with a 2% tax on premiums that Coloradans with state-regulated plans pay. The money helps fund insurance in high-cost areas of the state, health care for non-citizens, and education and outreach by the state exchange. The state budget director says the enterprise can continue that work for now without additional funding. Sean Boyd, covering Colorado First.
A woman in Jefferson County is battling to take back what's rightfully hers. Terilyn Romero bought her dream home, but was shocked when people would show up using her property as a park. When Romero purchased the home next to Kittredge Park near Morrison and Evergreen, she did not expect it to be a popular spot for people in the area. She learned the owners before her allowed people in the community to use the area, and many believed it was part of the park. But according to official surveys, that land does belong to Romero. In 2022, Jefferson County sued Romero to obtain the land, citing a long history of public use. After launching her own campaign on TikTok, it went viral. Eventually, Romero and the county would settle for $250,000 for a portion of her land. Romero says she's suing now the previous property owners for alleged fraud and for not disclosing the public use or government's claim of ownership to the land. CBS News Colorado has been covering a family trying to get mental help for their daughter for more than a year. This week, Olivia Shack had a court hearing where her family feared she'd be released from custody. They believe she can't care for herself. Now, Alan Janae reports a judge ordered her to stay at the state's mental health facility in Pueblo for another 6 weeks.
At 24 years old, the most recent images of Olivia Shack are from a conversation via video when she was in the Jefferson County Jail over a year ago.
Oh, there you are. I can see you better now. Hi, sweetie.
Yeah.
Have you brushed your teeth yet?
Olivia's list of mental health problems includes schizoaffective and bipolar disorders, and her mother is glad her daughter will remain in a locked facility for now.
Thank God they're keeping her for a month at least.
Olivia's life unraveled as she reached adulthood and mental illness came upon her. She wandered off and disappeared for weeks or months, living on the streets where she was assaulted and where she used drugs to chase away the voices that won't leave her alone.
We can't force her to stay. She's an adult.
Her family was told in Colorado the best way to get her help is to get her arrested. After 6 months in jail, there was finally a bed for her at the state mental health facility in Pueblo, where she failed 4 assessments to determine whether she's competent for trial.
In the end of the day, we shouldn't have got her in the criminal system, but we didn't know any different.
Colorado lacks mental health facilities for people like Olivia. Her mother and stepdad left court knowing the judge could have simply turned Olivia loose, as the justice system is now giving up on prosecuting her. But they are still faced with what's next when the 6 weeks are up.
I think that at this point, we can probably get a better case for getting some sort of a guardianship over her.
To hopefully get her committed and find some facility where she'll take needed medication. But that is hard and expensive and slow in Colorado, where Olivia has already been falling through the cracks.
I'm not trying to take her rights or take her life away. I'm trying to give her some sort of a life that's not going to be on the streets.
In Jefferson County, Alan Janae covering Colorado First.
The death of a Colorado mother has been ruled a homicide nearly 4 years after she was reported missing on Mother's Day. Suzanne Morphew died by undetermined means, according to an autopsy report released by the Chaffee County Coroner's Office on Monday. Her remains were found in a shallow grave in Moffett last September, more than 40 miles from her home. A cocktail of drugs commonly used to tranquilize wildlife was found in her bone marrow, but the report also said there was no indication of trauma. At one point, Suzanne's husband, Barry Morphew, was charged with her murder. Those charges were later dismissed, with the possibility that he could face charges in the future. A piece of history may be lost for good after a trailer filled with World War II artifacts was taken from a group based in Highlands Ranch. Now, the Living History Group is asking for help to find it. David Little says the group travels the world, putting on programs, exhibits, and a living history campsite that showcases the Colorado history of World War II. That's before thieves, who were caught on surveillance camera, stole the trailer containing half of the group's artifacts from outside a member's home in Englewood. Tents, nets, tables, signage, and other items were taken from the Camp Hale area. They total nearly $30,000 in value, but their true worth is priceless.
It was enough to bring tears to your eyes, literally. This is the kind of loss that's going to impact us for years to come. We've spent 45 years assembling this collection of artifacts, and it's not something that we can run out and replace.
Englewood police say they're investigating the theft, and they're asking anyone with information to contact them. For more in-depth look of these stories and the rest of the news that you may have missed this week, you can visit our website at cbscolorado.com.